engagement here at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. And if you do not think that that is a mouthful to say every single time you say it, but I am pleased, absolutely pleased to be here today, and I'm so glad for all of you who are able to join us both in person as well as those of you who are joining us virtually. Thank you so much. This partnership in particular is of specific importance to us. Coming to the Table RVA has done such great work in the community over the last several years, and we are very happy to be able to help and sponsor this a great event, the National Day of Racial Healing. We all know that the history of the country is filled with those who have promoted systems of injustice. But we also know that it is filled too with heroes of racial tolerance and justice as well. And as those numbers of heroes grow, including those in this group, in this audience, and those of you watching from outside, we are glad to be able to celebrate on this day with our concert with Chris Matthews. So I said before that this whole thing that I wasn't going to get up here and preach, so I'm going to stop right now and actually just turn it on over to the co-founders of Coming to the Table RVA, Danita Green and Marcia Summers. Thank you.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right. Good evening, Richmond. My name is Danita Roundtree Green.
And I am Marcia Summers.
And we are the co-CEOs of Coming to the Table RVA. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our first hybrid event ever in observance of the National Day of Racial Healing 2022.
We are especially proud to present social activist, singer-songwriter Chris Matthews in concert tonight. Yes. We believe that this concert will give you the joy and the strength to move through 2022 with passion, resolve, and courage. Chris is known for, in her words, creating music to inspire and encourage, to change hearts, not minds. She is a storyteller and lyricist, a courageous voice for this generation who speaks life into causes and people that change our world. This is a musical celebration, and we are streaming live from the beautiful Virginia Museum of History and Culture here in Richmond, which is still under construction. We are so thankful to the staff and leadership of Virginia Museum of History and Culture for making it possible for us to be here in spite of the renovations going on. We can't wait for these doors to open to the public again later this year. And I'm personally looking forward to the time when I can meet Danita and some of the staff of the museum in the soon-to-be-opened patio cafe.
Yes.
Just to gather.
Yes. Thank you for that. I can't wait either. Tonight's concert is designed to energize you and our local chapters, celebrate our growth in 2022, and get us supercharged for the work ahead. This event is supported by our friends at the Richmond Pledge, who are here with us tonight, bringing us together to work on our personal growth and with others throughout the greater Richmond area to address racism in all of its forms. So Marcia and I ask you to also join us at the table. We both believe that racial healing begins with each of you and all of our local chapters doing the worthwhile work we stand for. And these are some of our tools. The first one is truth-telling in history. Coming together so we can look at the history together and see who we are, share our generational stories and our personal stories together. Building relationships. You can't do this work without getting to know people better and hearing them, sometimes for the very first time. People who don't look like you and sound like you or shop where you shop, making new friends, and learning something on the other side of the racial divide. Of course, we are tearing down barriers and building bridges to heal old wounds. And Richmond has a lot of those. But we have the energy in our group to stand together and build some bridges for change. We are all change makers. And then the last tool that we're most proud of is taking action. Coming to the table wants to help you find the path to be your own change maker wherever you are in the city and even in the world.
Danita, you know that Richmond is changing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That good things are happening?
Yes.
Uh-huh. You know it, but maybe some of these folk don't. Richmond is changing, and so is CTTT-RVA. Moving into this new year, we are expanding our vision and our mission. One, to work more closely with our neighboring CTTT groups across the state.
Yeah.
Charlottesville, Virginia Historic Triangle, the Eastern Shore, Harrisonburg, Colonial Beach, Lexington, Northern Virginia, and the Shenandoah Valley so far. Two, there will be more programs and partnerships with local advocacy groups that we start initiating and following through with more in the coming year to address economics, education, and criminal justice reform, any of the or a lot of the issues that we've all been reading about, there being such severe inequity.
Yes.
Three, we will do more facilitator training to make more of the courageous conversations be able to take place,
Yes.
making sure that all voices are heard and respected wherever we are able to hold those conversations.
Yes.
We are a blended family,
Yes.
Sister Danita.
Yes.
And we are a big family. We have between 200 and 300 people who choose to come together and to return and keep coming monthly for the courageous, clumsy, and often very uncomfortable conversation on race.
And I know, Marshall, you know, we went from hosting 26 public events a year to almost 70 in 2021. Can you believe that? That's why
Yeah.
we're so tired. And it takes a dedicated team and lots of good people to move this city, this Commonwealth, and hopefully this nation to a place of social equity and inclusion. Coming to the table, RVA charges no membership fees. So, to ensure that everyone is fed at our table, we ask those who are able to make a small or a large donation, whatever you are comfortable with tonight, to help offset the cost of this program. So, I'm going to take us back a little bit. I don't know if anybody remembers the Jerry Lewis telephones. Okay? Okay. I want people to take out their phones and go to our website. Thank you, our website. Go to comingtothetable-rva.org. Go there and you will see a beautiful donate button on the upper, I know I have to say this, on the upper right-hand corner. Push that. And you are able to support the work that we do, even as we do it virtually. And think about that for a minute. Wherever you are watching us now, you have somebody virtually sitting beside you. Virtually means not quite there, but there. Not completely in the room, but there. That kind of feels like what we do at the table. We're approximate, but not quite there. Your dollars can bring us together as a family, not just in the sense of eating at a table, but fixing some things that are really, really challenging in our city. You can be the ones to help this happen, but we need your support to make it happen. How's that?
That's
okay.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
that's more than
Okay.
I expected.
Get out your
now,
phone. Get out your phone.
now we want everyone to get comfortable
Yes.
and ready to enjoy Chris Matthews as she delivers our joint message in song. Then, after the program, go back to our website and join us for a virtual event that catches your interest as you read through our website. We have a lot of things going on. You all worked hard last year bringing truth and justice to the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing love to the fight.
Yes.
Thank you for being here tonight.
And
Thank you for coming to our table.
And next we will hear from Reverend Cheryl Johnson of the Richmond Pledge, coming to us with a centering moment for the evening. Thank you, Cheryl.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Johnson, and I serve as the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Richmond Pledge to End Racism. And just like coming to the table, we work towards healing racial inequities that harm all who live in our Richmond metropolitan region. They gave me a few minutes to give you just a short, brief synopsis of what the pledge is, so I'm going to do that and get us quickly to the wonderful music that Chris is bringing to us. The Pledge to End Racism, first conceived almost 25 years ago in Birmingham, Alabama, began as a statement of principles that committed the people who signed it to work every day to eliminate racism. The pledge offers individuals, faith communities, and other groups a place to start in order to build a common understanding, language, and commitment for a just, more equitable society. When I first came across the pledge back in 2016, it reminded me of something I had always believed as a person of faith, but never fully appreciated the ramifications of. That we are all beloved children of God, made in the image of God. And if that is true, and I believe that it is, then I had a lot of work to do to see that that inherent worth was respected and valued not only by myself, but by the systems and institutions of our society. Now, you don't need to come from a specific faith tradition to believe in the inherent worth of every living being, or to know that racism is wrong, and to want to do your part in eliminating it. And so I invite everyone watching and everyone here to visit our website, richmondpledge.org, and consider signing the pledge to end racism. Now, signing the pledge is a good step, first step, but the work certainly doesn't end there. And so the Richmond Pledge has developed the Living the Pledge workshop to provide participants a foundation for understanding racism in all its forms, and then to discover ways we as individuals and collectively might work to dismantle it. Since the pandemic began, we have been offering the workshop online as a series of 6 sessions that take place over the course of 7 weeks. And our next workshop begins this Monday, January 24th, 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll meet for 3 Monday evenings, take a week off to catch our collective breath, and then meet 3 more weeks, finishing March 7th. We do have a handful of spots still available, and we've extended registration through tomorrow so that I might extend an invitation to all of you here and all of you watching online to sign up. You can visit our website, richmondpledge.org/online workshop, to learn more and to register. Now I'd like to help us prepare for the amazing music we are about to hear by inviting each of us to be fully present in this time and space. And to help us do that, I'd like you to take some deep breaths as I read the pledge to end racism. I invite you to listen for words or phrases that you might wish to carry forward into this evening and beyond. I believe that every person has worth as an individual. I believe that every person is entitled to dignity and respect, regardless of race or color. I believe that every thought and every act of racial prejudice is harmful. If it is my thought or act, then it is harmful to me as well as to others. Therefore, from this day forward, I will strive daily to eliminate racial prejudice from my thoughts and actions. I will discourage racial prejudice by others at every opportunity. I will treat all people with dignity and respect. I will commit to working with others to transform my community into a place that treats people of all races, ethnicities, and cultures with justice, equity, and compassion. And I will strive daily to honor this pledge, knowing that the world will be a better place because of my effort. Thank you for being here wherever you are joining us from. And now, without any further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome Chris Matthews.
Thank you so much. I've traveled all across this land, up the Gold Coast and back home again. Found common ground around every bend, and far fewer strangers than I've found friends. A little princess drawing at breakfast with wonder in her eyes. An immigrant on the phone with her abuela saying goodbye. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell, a hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, how's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you exactly where you are. I've been from sea to shining sea, from Mendocino to Carolina Beach. And what I found town after town is folks getting right back up when life knocks them down. A sweet widow from Ohio who still sings with every track. A rambling man with his whole life packed upon his tired back. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell, a hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, how's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you exactly where you are. As I've journeyed far and wide, I've tried to reach out across the great divide, across those knowns and those unknowns that keep us in opposing corners so alone. This or that, insert whatever social construct that you like. I hope all our better angels take the wheel for a while. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. Just me and you. Just me and you, yeah. Just me and you, yeah. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell, a hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, How's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Exactly, exactly, exactly where you are. All right. Well, it is such an absolute joy and honor to be with you all tonight. I got into Richmond last night, and I spent the day kind of going around the city. And I have to tell you, there is an energy here, something that is happening in this city. I have been highly emotional all day long. So I'm trying super duper hard not to just burst into tears. I am just, so moved by so much of what is happening in this city, and it is apparent everywhere. So I felt like I wanted to start with that song. That song is called Exactly Where You Are. I always like to call in with that song. It's such a good reminder that there is so much more that unites us than there is that divides us. I wrote that song on my first train ride in the United States, and all of those people that I met along my way, and just the connection that I had with all of them, people who didn't know each other from Adam, just complete strangers, and to still be able to share space and hold space for one another. We need so much more of that day in and day out. So I wanted to call us in with that song, and I think after that, the only place to go is this one. This is called One and the Same. And I was joking with Anita in the back about being an Ancestry.com nerd. I'm very much so an Ancestry.com nerd. I love family history. I come from a very large family in southeastern North Carolina. And this song actually came about after a young man changed his profile picture on Facebook to a picture of the Confederate flag. And he's somebody that I knew very well, someone that, we have an actual connection. We're not just strangers on the street. And I wondered what made him do that. And of course, his response, as those of us who are from the South have heard oh so often, well, it's just heritage, it's not hate. And the irony of that statement, when it's used so flippantly, is that most of the time, those people don't really have any full grasp of what their family history is. A lot of people only know their family history back as far as their grandparents and great-grandparents, and sometimes one more generation back, but not too much further than that. So I took it upon myself to actually do a little digging on his behalf, and he was quite astounded by what I found. And this story is about that. This is called One and the Same. Your great-grandpa's great-grandfather was a proud Virginian. He might well have been a good man, but it's so hard to tell through history's lens with that slave ship's wheel in his hand. Oh, he was transporting slaves 3 years past when he should. Joe was proud of his rebel ways. He had mighty big dreams, so he worked all he could, made his fortune, made himself a name. They say, don't you take down my rebel flag. They say his heritage, not hate. But what they don't seem to understand is that sometimes they're one and the same. And so he put down some roots and started sowing his seeds. He took a wife, and then they had 4 kids. And instead of bedtime stories, he recounted his deeds. Joe was proud of the things that he did. And it's no wonder his sons volunteered that day when that battle flag cried how they heart. It's no wonder they saw things their father's way. After all, they were of like mind and heart. They say, don't you take down my rebel flag. They say his heritage, not hate. But what they don't seem to understand is that sometimes they're one and the same. Well, one of Job's boys gave his life at Bull Run, while the other stayed out of harm's way. And he gave his brother's name to his firstborn son, thought his youngest would be president one day. George Washington Toombs had a daughter named May, and then May had a son she named Hugh. Well, then Hugh married Phyllis, and they had Sean, and then Sean and your mama had you. And you say, don't you take down my rebel flag. You say it's heritage, not hate. But what you don't seem to understand is that sometimes they're one and the same. Thanks so very much. Yeah, those are some of those uncomfortable conversations y'all were talking about. You know, I just have to say, when you're gonna be rowdy with a folk singer, just remember, we're gonna talk about you and sing about you for a long time after. But no, it was a very good moment. It's one of those difficult conversations that was worth having. He didn't know any of that. You know, he knew his grandparents, and that was it. And so, of course, you know, when you know more, you do a little bit better. As we say down south, when you know better, you do better. And so it's worth it. Those conversations are hard to have a lot of times, but they are so important to have because you don't know who you're going to reach, and you don't know when you're going to reach them. And so as frustrating and as difficult as it can be, you know, keep listening to this good folk music, keep yourself strong, and just keep on getting out there. So this next one that I want to do for you is off of my new album, Changemakers. And this song is called Time Machine. And it's not very often that I write from a place of anger. I try very diligently to always write from a place of hope and always write from a place of love. But it was very difficult to do that once we started putting babies in cages. And this song is called Time Machine. It's about kind of the progression of America and how we kind of keep on learning this same lesson again and again and again. And I hope that with more of us coming to the table, we will eventually be able to actually move forward together. We are a nation built on stolen land, hearts less open than our outstretched hands. It's ours if we see it and say it is. Burn our treaties and feed you ashes. The White House is a time machine. Power is such a dangerous thing, and so back we go. A new kind of trail of tears. But the same old road. Is this America? Oh, yes, it is. It's the same place now that it was then. Tearing families apart without a second thought. Cruel for cruelty's sake. This is America. Oh, when will we learn? When will we learn from our mistakes? We are a nation of immigrants, but oh, how quickly we forget in this age of golden escalators, double speak and cruel dictators. The White House is a time machine, and humanity is a long lost thing. So it's back we go to when strange fruit hung high and sweet cherries swung low. Is this America? Oh, yes, it is. It's the same place now that it was then. Tearing families apart without a second thought. Cruel for cruelty's sake. This is America. Oh, when will we learn? When will we learn from our mistakes? We are a nation founded on religious freedom with leaders who call themselves Christians. So tell me, what would Jesus do? Would he sell his soul for a judge or two? The White House is a time machine, but empathy is dead, it seems. So it's back again to the days when internment was just a pretty way to say prison. Is this America? Oh, yes, it is. It's the same place now that it was then. Tearing families apart without a second thought. Cruel for cruelty's sake. This is America. Oh, when will we learn? When will we learn from our mistakes? We are a nation, home of the brave and free, the standard bearer for democracy. But it takes so much more than we give. Turn our backs on folks just trying to live. The White House is a time machine, but immigrants don't get to live the dream. And so back you go. Turns out we don't really mean it. Guess that statue is just for show. Is this America? Oh, yes, it is. It's the same place now that it was then. Tearing families apart without a second thought. Cruel for cruelty's sake. This is America. Oh, when will we learn? When will we learn from our mistakes? Thank you so much. Thank you. So, you know, if you're watching at home and you're tired of having those conversations, there's a song you can just put on. Chances are good I probably have talked about it somewhere. So, you know, you can just send that to a friend. Well, I've been talking about change makers, and I know there are a lot of those in this room, so I want to sing that song for you now. This is the title track for my social justice album that came out March 26, 2021. And I'll tell you what, it is an awfully big leap of faith to release an album in the middle of a global pandemic if you are an independent folk singer who predominantly sings social justice music. But I am very fortunate. I have a huge, what I call them, my army of lovers behind me who believe very deeply in the messages of these songs and who believe they can do some good in this world. And so they made sure these songs got out. And thanks to their beautiful, tireless efforts, I am so proud to say that album actually made it onto the first ballot of the Grammys this year. And yeah, I mean, it didn't make it onto the second ballot, but that's okay. You know, I felt really good about that. I don't have a record label. I don't have a manager. I am literally a one-woman army, so I was awfully proud of that. And I'm my mom's only kid, so it always feels like I'm amazing no matter what I do. So she was very, very proud of me, which is really great. So I definitely want to sing this one for y'all tonight and dedicate it so much to everybody affiliated with Coming to the Table and so many of these other incredible organizations that I've learned about today. I had a great chat with Joseph and some of the work that he's doing. So this is Changemakers. Sitting alone in this hotel room, TV on, tuned into the news. And it's another day here in paradise. Mass shootings, deportations, wildfires. Meanwhile, Mr. Make America Great is busy tweeting his worst and spreading more hate. While some of us are so poor they can't afford shoes on their feet, while some other sweet baby starves to death in their sleep. Can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. We are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Somewhere in 100 no-name towns are 1,000,000 lives being turned upside down. And you know this is the only home those kids have ever known. Refugees from wars and regimes being overthrown. Meanwhile, too many of these United States ignore the words Lady Liberty spake. Doors being kicked down in the dead of the night. No more sanctuary cities. How's that for religious right? Can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. We are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And if there's anyone out there who questions what America at its very best will feel like now, remember 66 million united in love, steadfastly indivisible across countless cities and towns. Oh, the bluest wave crashing from shore to shore. And all those hate has no home here. Signs on all those doors. We know who we are like we know how to breathe. Won't you sing it with me? Sing it with me, please. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Give me the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Give me the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me. Oh, can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. And we are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's nice to be able to sing that song and have parts of it be less relevant than they were when I wrote it. I am thrilled about that. But then, of course, other parts of it feel even more relevant. So, you know, that's kind of the beauty of songs. You just don't know what they'll mean when. So, well, I really appreciate I'll tell you, living in a pandemic, I have performed pretty much virtually for like 2 years. And, you know, when you're in the Zoom room, you can't hear those little sounds that the people make. Like, there's a certain sound, if it's hit you just right, that's it right there. That's it. And you just don't get that in a Zoom room. So I tell you, I am just so happy to be able to be here in person singing these songs with you all. Thank you for that. It really means a lot. Well, I'm a preacher's kid, if you can't tell from the preaching. And so sometimes the songs come out with titles like Prodigal Son, which is the name of this next one that I want to do for you. And this is another one off of Changemakers. It's actually an older song that's on my old album, Come What May. But in 2019, I was on the road with Heather May and J.J. Jones from Girly Men and Joe Stevens from Coyote Grace. We kind of made this LGBTQ, or as we like to call it, the LGBTQ. We like to say it very fancy. We feel like our community has gone through a lot. We really deserve fancy where we can get it. And so we call it the LGBTQ community. We have T-shirts coming. You'll be able to get those soon. But we did this tour, and Prodigal Son was one of the songs that we would perform together, and it just, got this incredible new life breathed into it because of JJ's amazing drumming. So you can hear that version on Changemakers, but I want to sing this song for you now.
In a town way down in Tennessee lives a teenage boy who's got a secret buried deep. He loves his mama like a good son ought to do. Loves his sister, loves his daddy, Lord. He loves his Bible too. He's been tossing, turning, losing sleep, his bloodshot eyes red from worry, so afraid that they might see. Little angel with the worried eyes, you've got to realize only the truth will set you free. You are not broken, damaged, or confused. Don't let the hypocrites make you feel wrong for being you. It's such a heavy cross to bear for love and peace, but you've got all your life to live, so why not live it free? Five years later and still he's losing sleep in a college town 300 miles from Tennessee. He did the only thing that he could think to do, leave tonight or live and die this way. What would most of us choose? He keeps his family arms length away. He keeps the phone calls and the letters short, so scared what they might say. Little angel with the frightened heart, you've got to finally start accepting all of who you are. You are not broken, damaged, or confused. Don't let the hypocrites make you feel wrong for being you. It's such a heavy cross to bear for love and peace, but you've got all your life to live, so why not live it free? In a town way down in Tennessee lives a mother sick with worry, wondering why her son can't sleep. He's been growing cold and distant by and by. Something about his voice and eyes tells her mind, don't dare ask why. But in her heart she knows what she should do. A mother always knows, especially when her kids don't want her to. And she says, little angel, don't you run from us, come on back home. Don't you know it doesn't matter who you love? You are not broken, damaged, or confused. Don't let the hypocrites make you feel wrong for being you. It's such a heavy cross to bear for love and peace, but you've got all your life to live, so why not live it free? So why not live it free? So why not live it free?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's, some of us check a lot of boxes. Like yours truly, black, check. Lesbian, check. A woman, check. Left-handed, check. Just such a struggle every day. Well, this is one of my favorite songs, and I wrote this after the election in 2016. Oh, I know. Just immediately triggered. I know, girl, I know. And it was such a hard time. You know, as I said, I try so hard to be hopeful, especially in the face of difficult things, because hope in and of itself is its own really powerful and profound type of resistance. And so it's important to me to try to project that, especially when I meet so many people who are in this struggle, who are in this fight for justice, to remind them that, you know, this isn't a sprint, it's not a marathon, it's a relay race. You have to do what you can and pass that baton so that you can take a break for yourself, so that you can be there to continue the struggle. So thank you very much. See, Zoom, you just don't get that in a Zoom, folks. You just don't. And but I'm so glad those of you who are tuning in are hopefully able to pick up some of this as well. It's really lovely. But in the face of that election in 2016, checking all those boxes that I do check, you can imagine it was a very scary time. At the time, I was in an interracial marriage in Virginia, and so not knowing what our future was going to hold, if we were going to still be allowed to be married, have our marriage recognized. We were thinking about having kids at the time, all of these things that were kind of in the balance, hanging in the balance, just with one switch of an election. And so I was having a really hard time. I was just feeling so afraid. And so I called my mom, I called the Rev, and she does what she always does, which is give me the most incredible wisdom and advice. And she said, and perspective, that's really what she does better than anything. Just give me so much good perspective. She said, you know, baby, picture me as a little black girl growing up in southeastern North Carolina in 1953. And every president that I have seen and that I have lived through, and I am still here. You will be fine. And so I said, yes, ma'am. And went on ahead and wrote this song. And this is one I have not had to sing very often, which I am, again, very thrilled about. But it is nice to sing it for you all tonight. This is called Battle Hymn for an Army of Lovers. It's a mouthful of a title, but it needs a title that strong.
Change is coming once again, except this time it feels like the world's about to end. White-robed devils in plain sight, angry protests in the streets night after night, and it weighs heavy on my mind. Why are we so quick to run backwards after all this time? But I won't let it change my heart. I was born full of love and hope, and when I die, that's how I'll depart. And when you find yourself incapable of seeing eye to eye, remember when they go low, we go high. Change is coming, that's for sure. We gave a madman all the keys and let him walk right in the door. And I don't think he'll see the light until the whole world is on fire, but that's all right, that's all right. We will still be here when he's gone, and if he doesn't kill us all, well, it sure will make us strong. So don't let 4 years change your heart. We were not born hating each other. Now is not the time to start. And when you find yourself incapable of seeing eye to eye, remember when they go low, we go high. There's a song penned for soldiers. It says, let us live to make men free. We're all sisters, we're all brothers, standing on each other's shoulders. There's no wall we cannot scale. We are an army of lovers, and we shall not fail. So when you find yourself incapable of seeing eye to eye, remember when they go low, we go high. 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 High, high, high. People get ready. I said, people get ready. People get ready. People get ready, yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Well, that's the end of the concert. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. That's the hard part about making a set list. You know, you got to try to make sure you don't front load it, so you don't have anywhere else to go. You know, see, he knows what I'm talking about. I know, I love that song. It definitely did me a world of good to be able to sing that those 4 years, for sure. All right. I made this list, and I'm surprising myself. I had to do a double take. I was like, what? So this is actually a new one. Usually I try not to sing too many new ones when I'm nervous because, you know, as you can tell, again, Southern and a preacher's kid, there are a lot of lyrics in these songs. We talk a lot. So, you know, when you're nervous, you just forget some of those words so fast. So I don't usually sing new ones when I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but I'm gonna go for it. I feel safe with y'all. Thank you. So this is called Rising Tides, and I had the good fortune of writing this song for the Working Families Party, who is doing a lot of good work out in the world for union workers and everybody else as well. But this is for them. This is called Rising Tides. There's this really profound Dr. King quote, as there are so many, where he says, we need to transform thin paper into thick action.
A better life for his kins and his wife. That's why he works so hard. Night after night, it's not dignified. It barely keeps on the lights. If only he had workers' rights. If only he could organize. There's a gap in between the riches built upon his people's backs and the poverty in which he finds himself entrapped. They say rising tides lift all boats, but where's my brother's helping hand when he needs it most? If we wanna rise as one, if change is ever gonna come, we better transform thin paper into thick action. So come alive, brother, come alive. No more barely getting by. I want you to thrive. A single mom with a daughter and a son, that's why she keeps 3 jobs. Works her fingers to the bone, she barely makes enough. But when her daughter grows up, maybe then there'll be equal funds for all the equal work she does. When the ladder of opportunity was built for someone else, it should come as no surprise when women need a little help. They say rising tides lift all boats, but where's my sister's helping hand when she needs it most? If we want to rise as one, if change is ever gonna come, we better transform thin paper into thick action. So come alive, sister, come alive. No more barely getting by. I want you to thrive. Another chance to stand where we should, nation to nation. United for good to protect the earth, the air, the ocean, and woods. If history's taught us anything, it's that we share the same blood. Undervalued, underestimated, standing unafraid. Family, we've got work to do. Despite the progress we've made, rising tides lift all boats. We can be that helping hand for those who need it most. If we want to rise as one, if change is ever gonna come, we better transform thin paper into thick action. So come alive, family, come alive. No more barely getting by. I want you to thrive. I want you to thrive. If We won't arise as one. If change is ever gonna come, we better transform thin paper into thick action. So come alive, family, come alive. No more barely getting by. I want you to thrive. I want you to thrive, thrive, thrive.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I mean, that's kind of the point of the type of work that I try to do. So often, you know, as you all, I'm sure, see in your work and this work that you're doing, we meet each other in these places, and it's as if, you know, we have never had the inclination to just imagine what somebody else's experience might be like. And I think if we did more of that, if we could simply just imagine what it might be like for somebody else, we'd sure be a whole lot less afraid of one another. And so much of that really hard stuff is just rooted in fear. This song is kind of about that. This is a song called This Kind of War. And this is a song I don't actually get to perform very often, just because it's such a cheery song. Not at all. It's about the opioid crisis. But I was coming back from my former in-laws lived in a little town called Lyndhurst, which is right outside of Charlottesville. And so I was driving from down there back up to Herndon, where I was living at the time, and I passed this truck in Manassas. And the bumper sticker that the fella had on his truck said, "Shoot your local heroin dealer." And it just struck me because, you know, you see people's bumper stickers that say, like, "My kid's an A honor roll student," or, you know, Biden Harris, or, you know, what have you. Stuff like that. Coming to the table RVA, you know, you see those things on the bumper stickers most of the time. And so it really just made me wonder what their story must be for that to be the thing that he wanted to put on his bumper. And so this is the song that came after that. This is called This Kind of War.
He's got a hole in his heart where his daughter used to be. And another one, yeah, another one for the neighbor down the street. It's a war zone from the pulpit to the bleachers, students and teachers drowning. His sweet little mining town is crumbling down around him. He was a simple kind of man, never thought this would be his life. They say misery loves company, but then the heartbreak claimed his wife. And this is one fight he can't win with an enemy he can't see. He's just another walking casualty of an overdose tragedy. He said, yeah, I used to be like you. Now I'm like the sticker out of my rear view. It says, shoot your local heroin dealer, that low-down murdering dream stealer, 'cause the bodies just keep piling up. How much longer till you've seen enough? No matter what you do, oh, this kind of war will claim you if it wants to. He said first, do no harm on the doctor's office wall. So even when the pills felt like overkill, she watched her husband take them all. It's a gateway to a kingdom where the promise is no more pain. It'll cost them all they have. What they'll lose can't be regained. She lets her hands hide her face as they take her love away. He's just another one of the 20-some whose demons won that day. And this is one fight she can't win with an enemy she can't see. She's just another walking casualty of an overdose tragedy. She said, yeah, I used to be like you. Now I'm like the sticker out of my rear view. But it's not just the heroin dealer. The pills do more harm than needles, and the bodies just keep piling up. How much longer till you've seen enough? No matter who you are, oh, this kind of war is bound to leave some scars. There's a ruptured generation in the hills of West Virginia, and a broken-hearted mayor in Nashville, Tennessee. The revenants in Portland and Tacoma are falling where they stand. This war is like a hurricane. It's already claimed the Northwest, the Rust Belt, and the Heartland. And yeah, they used to be like you. What they've seen would change you too. It's not just the heroin dealers. Prescriptions do more harm than needles, and the bodies just keep piling up. How much longer till enough's enough? No matter what you tried before, you can't just say no to this war.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, you know, we just don't know. I was playing a music festival in Oklahoma, and the woman who was like my liaison that was carrying me around and everything, I sang that song, and she came up to me afterwards and she said, "Thank you so much. My son is in recovery right now." And so you just don't know people's stories and their struggles and what they're dealing with. Yeah. Well, I feel like I can count on you all to sing with me. At least one of you, for sure. So this is a song, I love singing this song in community. Again, growing up in the AME church, you know, my first introduction to music was music in community. And of course, the AME church and almost all denominations of black churches in the South have a storied history of justice and spirituality. Those churches were safe havens in so many contexts. Those are where people were being taught to read when it was illegal for us to learn how to read. They were stops on the Underground Railroad. So many parts of our history involved the black church. And so this song is an old freedom song written by a woman named Roberta Slavitt. And the first time I heard that song, I did not realize how old it was, because it felt like it was written for now, for this movement that is stirring in this country that I love so much. But it's over half a century old, which of course spoke terribly about our progress as a society. And so I took that song and put some contemporary lyrics to it. And the folks who managed Miss Slavitt's catalog felt like it was relevant enough to be released under this new title. So this song is called "We Must Be Free." And your part is just the word freedom. That's it. And again, AME, so you know, 4-part harmony is appreciated. But it's not required, but it is appreciated. But I do require soul claps on 2 and 4. If you're nervous about where that is, you just watch these feet right here. You will not get lost. And so the melody says that they say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle, oh Lord. And that's it. So just the word freedom. So we're going to do a little practice real quick. Now this is what we call a pandemic perk. You are masked, so no one will know if it's you who is having some trouble, or as more politely, if you're having some opportunity. People won't know it's you, so sing out. All right, so let's do a little practice run, okay? All right, so let's say, they say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom, yes, that's it, you got it. Just 3 freedoms in a chorus, that's it. It's so sweet. They posted this video of me singing that with the congressional chorus, which was a very cool experience, getting to sing it with them. Because when you write a song, you know, you kind of hear it in your head. And when I wrote it, that's how I heard it, was getting to sing it with the congressional chorus. So it was really cool to get to hear that. But I have to say, post-pandemic, this is better. So getting to be here with all of you tonight, thank you for being here. And thank you for singing. Those who are at home, you have even the biggest pandemic perk because no one will know if you're flat or sharp. Sing out, or even if you're clapping on 1 and 3. So you have it made. So yeah, so just sit this first part out. This is just for you to center yourself, and then we will get into it.
They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've struggled so long, we must be free. We must be free. Black lives matter. Oh yes, they do. And yes, of course, all lives do too. But they don't see me the way they see you. You reach for your ID, they smile. I reach for mine, they shoot. They say that freedom is a constant crying. They say that freedom is a constant crying. They say that freedom is a constant cry. Oh Lord, we've cried so long, we must be free, we must be free. Black lives matter, why can't you see? What makes you less afraid of them than you are of us, than you are of me? Protect and serve us, not kill and hurt us. Oh Lord, how many black lives will it take before that thin blue line turns purple? They say that freedom is a constant sorrow. They say that freedom is a constant sorrow. They say that freedom is a constant sorrow. Oh Lord, we've sorrowed so long, we must be free, we must be free. Black lives matter, both young and old. So many names on my heart, and yet so many stories left untold. When will it end, Lord? When will it end? Tell me, why does it feel like it's 1968 all over again? They say that freedom is a constant moaning. They say that freedom is a constant moaning. They say that freedom is a constant moaning. Oh Lord, we've moaned so long, we must be free, we must be free. Black lives matter, don't you turn away. Oh, rise up, call out injustice, say their names. I'm no safer, no, not at all. It could just as well be my name that's the next one on the wall. They say that freedom is a constant dying. They say that freedom is a constant dying. They say that freedom is a constant dying. Oh Lord, Lord, we've died so long, we must be free.
Thank you. Thanks so much for singing. Thank you all so much. I feel like I need to say, just for the rep, in case she's watching, this is artisan water, Mom. This is just water. That's it. You know, I got to let her know. Well, see, why you got to troll me like that? Yeah. No, she definitely knows what's in that one. I'm so neurotic about my tea. This is a special blend, peppermint tea with some local honey. Always local. I am a little nerdy kid, what I like to call Thomas J. from My Girl. the bee stings, the kid with the bee stings, so delicate. So I always like to have local honey to where I am, because in the event that I'm having any kind of weird random allergies unexpectedly, the local honey tends to just like holistically keep that at bay. That's it. That's it. Not just a pretty face, folks. I want to sing one of my favorite ones off of Changemakers for you now. This is called Hope Revolution. And I wrote this song after this most recent election was officially called. I lived in D.C. at the time, and go to the White House. I tell you, again, black, lesbian, woman, left-handed, I have made that drive many a time, usually to protest somebody or something. But on that particular day, it was incredible. I don't think I'll ever get tired of just being so grateful to have been in that city at that moment. There were so many American flags out in places where there had not been any before, as if people once again felt like they could have those colors mean what they're supposed to mean. We kind of are in this moment now where a certain group of folks are trying to co-opt those colors to make them mean something they do not mean. Those colors mean what they mean. And so it was just a beautiful sight to see. And you know how D.C. is. People are blowing their horns. It's never for anything good. There were so many people just honking their horns, like rolling their windows down, like, yeah! It was incredible. I don't know if D.C. has ever been like that, but it was a really beautiful day. And I started writing this song in the back of the Uber because I was just so overjoyed. It was such a beautiful feeling. And this is called Hope Revolution. Ooh, you know what? I'm tired. I'm probably going to have to just kick that down a little bit. Oh, yeah. The pipes, they let you know you've been in a pandemic. We're still getting back in the swing of it.
I've seen so many flags flying high. Some were rainbow for pride, some were for saving black lives, and some were odes to the war long lost the last time hate tried to rise. But I haven't seen the red, white, and blue for a while. Yeah, I've seen so many flags flying high. Some were red, black, and green for celebrating Juneteenth. Some were signs of respect to the few proud and brave who keep us free. But I haven't seen the red, white, and blue lately. This country of mine hasn't felt much like itself. It's no wonder so many put Old Glory on the shelf. Until the promise of her colors was back within our reach. Then that star-spangled banner, she was lining every street. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Justice for all, indivisible, one nation. These 4 years didn't feel like the last. The worst parts of our past, it's like they brought them all back. Baby's cage, borders closed, our democracy under attack. Never thought I'd see the red, white, and blue do that. Oh, this country of mine hasn't felt much like itself. It's no wonder so many put Old Glory on the shelf. Until the promise of her colors was back within our reach. Then that star-spangled banner, she was lining every street. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Justice for all, indivisible, one nation. One nation. Oh, those colors aren't just pretty, they're pretty much who we are. Perseverance and justice, vigilance and valor, that's while we were dancing, not marching, as those dark clouds scattered. There was glass everywhere from all the ceilings being shattered. It was the first time in a long time that it felt like it mattered what those colors stood for and who those colors were for. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Oh, justice for all, justice for all, indivisible. One nation, one nation. And all the insurrections in the world won't change that. I've seen so many flags flying high. Hope the red, white, and blue stays a while. Thanks so much. Well, I've got time for just a couple more. Man, I had too much fun chatting with y'all. All right, I'm looking at it like it's a lot more left than what I've got time for, but that's all right. I'm gonna just do just two more for you, and then those of you who are online, hopefully I can find where you were and respond to your comments and things like that. But I just do want to say thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are, and everybody else, come hang out in the foyer with me once we're done. This is I would be remiss if I did not sing this song. This was the last song to go on Changemakers. As I said, it's kind of it's a bit of a time capsule really for what the past 4 years were like. And as I found myself in the middle of my first global pandemic in my lifetime, I thought to myself, what would be the takeaway? What would I want another generation who looked back on this moment to have be a takeaway from this very unprecedented thing that we were all enduring? And for me, the thing that gave me so much hope in some of the scariest beginning parts of this was seeing how many people immediately jumped into action helping their neighbors, older neighbors who we knew pretty early on it wasn't safe for them to be out, they couldn't risk it, and so people just going to get groceries for their neighbors, frontline workers of all stripes just putting themselves at harm's way before we even really knew anything at all, and still just being selfless. And so I was reading the paper one day and came across this story about a doctor in Houston, Texas. An immigrant, he came to this country. The only thing he ever wanted to do was be a doctor. And he came to this country, worked hard, and fulfilled that dream and found himself in the throes of this pandemic. He was someone who did the intubation, so of course he was needed all the time. So he would just start sleeping at the hospital to make sure that he could be there right away when his patients needed him to try to save as many lives as possible. And he ultimately ended up losing his life to COVID after having saved so many. And his name was Dr. Carlos Araujo Preza. And so I thought his story was a pretty good indicator of what so many Americans gave and are continuing to give for us. This is called Selfless. We measure years in terms of seasons, how much darkness each day brings. And this year has been a hard one. It's felt like winter since last spring. But it's on the darkest nights that the stars that guide us shine. And in life, that's when you find out who will lay it all on the line. He was a doctor, son, and a father, a lover and a friend. And his job was like his calling, not a clock punched to pay the rent. He treated every patient like he would his mom, his kids. And when his lover asked, was he scared, he said, baby, I was born for this. Oh, selfless is as selfless does. Some give it all just because. And in times like these, when the sorrows falling like the leaves, when the storm is more than a storm, heroes come in many forms. She couldn't see behind his mask, just the kindness in his eyes. And before she even asked, he said she was gonna be alright. 'Cause it's on the darkest nights that the stars that guide us shine. And in life, that's when you find out who will lay it all on the line. Well, he was right, she did recover. And one day when she was home, she saw an obit in the paper, and those kind eyes she'd come to know. She never got the chance to thank him, but she knew he saved her life. And with tears running down her face, she said there is no greater sacrifice. Well, selfless is as selfless does. Some give it all just because. And in times like these, when the sorrows falling like the leaves, when the storm is more than a storm, heroes come in many forms. Not all heroes wear capes or costumes. Not the person teaching your kids. Not the nurse sitting in your mom's room. Not the frontline worker taking so many risks. But selfless is as selfless does. Some give it all just because. And in times like these, when sorrow's falling like the leaves, when the storm is more than a storm, heroes come. Heroes come in many forms.
Thanks so much. Well, thank you so much to Danita and to everybody, the whole Coming to the Table family, for taking such great care of me, for making me feel so at home and so welcome here in Richmond. Thank you all so much for being in the room tonight. I immensely appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. And I want to send you all home with this one. This is a song I think, I used to say that about Battle Hymn, but I feel like this one definitely takes the cake. If I don't write another song again, I'm glad I wrote this one. I wrote this song to honor the late, great Congressman John Lewis. And this song is called Call Them In, because like you, like the work that you all are doing here, that is the thing that he did so beautifully, was to call out injustice, but then to do that next step that is so very difficult, which is to then call in. And this tent is big and it needs filling. If we had enough to get the job done, we would have gotten the job done already, and we have not. So we need more of us. So thank you for the work that you're doing in your community to do that.
The battle lines are drawn, and once again, somebody's saying, wait, be patient. if they knew how long it would be before all people could truly hear freedom ring. I wonder which end of that moral arc would they choose. I wonder if more would have walked in his shoes. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders, letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Somebody called him a saint among men, a founding father, an icon, a legend. Ordinary people with such extraordinary vision in a country so young, hard pressed on every single side, but not crushed, saying, in God, love, and justice we trust. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders, letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in. Mm-hmm. If you see something that's not right, not fair, stand up and say we can do better. He said, I may not be with you when we reach the other side, so let the power of love everlasting be your guide. 'Cause this is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. This is what revolution looks like. Get in and then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders, letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in, call them in. Find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the incredible work you are doing in your community. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much. My name is Chris Matthews. Thank you.
Oh, more.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't want to let you go.
Great. That was great. Man, thank you, Chris. That was phenomenal. Don't you feel energized?
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
And teary.
Yeah, and teary.
Yeah.
That's how we do it in coming to the table.
lots of-
Energy.
yeah.
Lots of emotions there. But this was wonderful. This was fuel and food for the fight, for sure. So thank you so much for coming to Richmond and bringing all of that. I'm supposed to be reading something. I don't know. What I'm supposed to do. Okay. And thank you for everyone who joined us virtually. And you guys got a treat tonight. And for our in-house audience, you rock! Woo! This was great. This was great. We hope you will become part of our family here in Richmond. Yeah, there you go. And all of you who are listening, becoming part of the Coming to the Table family. There's so much work to do, but if we do it together as a family, it's easier, it's better, it's brighter. And if you are closer to another city, go to the website, the national website, and also our website. Find out where the other chapters are. We need the whole Commonwealth to come together for racial healing now. We cannot wait any longer. Something better awaits us all, as we heard tonight.
Yes, as we heard, and just too good, too good.
Oh, we have to thank the Richmond Pledge.
Thank you,
Yep.
Cheryl Johnson and Richmond, coming for Richmond Pledge. All our Virginia local groups who are online and with us in the audience, our wonderful partners and supporters, and especially the Virginia Museum of History and
Yes.
Culture for making this possible and doing the behind-the-scenes things to make it work today in more ways than we expected.
Yes.
There's always something. Okay.
I know how to plug things up. That's just about it. Okay. And and support this wonderful talent here, chrismatthews.com. Okay, so you can get more of what she's serving up here. This is wonderful. And you guys who are here, hopefully we'll be able to go outside and do. Yeah, that's going to be great. So we get a little bit more. We get a little bit more. So and like Chris says, we want to move hearts and not just minds. This is definitely a heart game that we're in now. Definitely a heart game, but. This was what we needed to go into. We are been through a lot, yes, but we have a lot more to do, and now we have the energy and the fuel to do it. So
Resilience.
Yes.
Resiliency here.
So what is it? What am I supposed to do?
Okay.
We encourage you all to be change makers in the community.
Which-
Woohoo!
It's on the name tags of those who are in this room.
Yes.
That you are change makers.
That's right.
We are going to hold you to it,
That's right.
and we're going to hold ourselves to it.
Okay.
Danita asked me, now I'm ad-libbing here. Danita asked me earlier about possibly having a poem or something that spoke to me and I thought, no. Chris has got too much poetry and too much already that she's giving us. But I do want to say one thing, and it's just one little line of a chorus in a hymn that's my new favorite that says, God will rejoice, or the world will rejoice, when we are creators of justice and joy. The world will rejoice when we are creators of justice and joy.
Yes. So there we have it. And all we can say after that is, in Richmond, that's right, Ashe, and we are going to bring love to the fight. Exactly.
And everybody remember to hit the donate button.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That helps. But thank you guys for everything.
Thank you.
This was a great night.
Thank you.